let's talk about Ben.
Oh, I love Ben. He's so cool.
The only thing I'd know straight from the start was I don't know if it's Beavis or Butthead, that laugh.
Oh, mate, he's
He's
a
whirlwind.
lunatic, isn't he?
Ben's a f***ing whirlwind. How's it, which frame are you using? I don't know how to, what my disposition.
He embodies everything that you think of when you think of a chef. He's like a tornado.
Hey guys, I'm still here. I'm still a nightmare, everyone, just in case you forgot.
I just thought that Ben was like the weirdest motherfucker I've ever met, but in such a good way.
And it's actually a new gang that I'm starting. Call it the One Up, One Down Club.
And his accent, you just can't help but be charmed.
I can get anything in the world. You give me 48 hours, I can get you a dodo by tomorrow.
Where were you? What were you doing when you get the call to come onto this boat?
I was in a strip club, actually. No, I'm just kidding. It was really good timing because I have a catering company. I don't think I had a whole lot going on at that point. It was very serendipitous. It was a good thing. It needed to happen.
Now, why are you the right guy to come to the rescue as a chef?
Well, because I'm an actual chef, so people call upon me when they're in a lot of trouble. It's happened a couple of times. I was legitimately, when I was 28, I was the head chef on one of the biggest yachts of the world. So, you know, it's kind of my shtick, you know, I get it. There's a freelancing aspect to the yachting industry. And if you're a freelance chef, then you will rescue either the boat, change a boat, or save them from their crazy chef. I mean, I'm impressed with Anastasia to get it together for 3 or 4 charters. I probably didn't give her as much credit as she deserved. I was probably actually quite scared.
And scared to follow her up,
Oh God, big shoes. I mean, you've got to be pretty brave to go, oh yeah, let's do a below deck season. Yeah, let's just do that, shall we? It's the hardest job there is.
Why is it so hard?
It's because you're on your own and you're in charge of provisioning, budgeting. It's a tiny little space, you have no help. I'm not attributing the failures of the other 2 chefs either. You know, I mean, a good chef will be able to rise above it, but it's tough. It's a tough gig.
Well, let's talk about the bag of trash. Anastasia called over the radio, come take the trash out.
Yeah, he made a snarky comment.
Deck crew, is anybody available to help me take out this trash? Please come and take out the garbage.
Go please grab Ben's garbage.
Oh, we'll prioritize interior stuff coming in.
Yes, that's right. You prioritize the garbage from the galley. Don't piss me off with your attitude.
Bullshit.
You never talk to me like that. That pisses me off. Like, no, it's not gonna happen. But if you're that, you know, exhausted, or you feel like you're not being led correctly, that's when you go, you know what, I just need a break. Oh, I don't see everything. And I would say, well, let them rest. Have her take out the garbage.
I personally, if we're off charter, I just take rubbish out myself, whether the boys are busy or not. If I'm on charter, it's very different. I won't go near the garbage because to me that's disrespectful to the guests. I don't think I should be smelling of garbage and then being this close to them and serving. So to me, on charter, the boys, off charter, do it yourself.
Yeah, but in that particular case, she didn't have a lot going on. She could have carried that bag to the bow and washed her hands. A lot of times with interior, it's just so easy to call on the guys to take the trash out. Anastasia could have taken her garbage out. That's where she was lazy.
You left the boat last season in a relationship with Brooke.
I never expected to get on a boat, find a potential girl of my dreams, and leave with her to Florence. Already? There's one thing that Brooke's done for sure, and that's broken down some walls that haven't been broken down in a very long time.
But that didn't work out, did it?
As much as I can try and hide how I feel about Brooke, unfortunately, sometimes I can't bottle my emotions. And having never trusted anyone and then giving that trust, that's the hard part.
Tell me a little bit about what happened there. I mean, so you left last season.
I guess, we left straight from there to high and intense relationship. We went to Italy, we spent 8 days there, and we're still trying to figure each other out at that time. There were moments where either I almost left or she almost left. We're like, okay, we're not doing this. And then the day before I left, I just said to her, look, are we doing this or not? And we both agreed that we would. I went back to Zimbabwe for, I think, a month or so, and then she came to Zimbabwe. We had an amazing time, there's no doubt about that, but I don't think her head was in the right place at all, and neither was mine. And then the show aired. There's no need for it.
Get the out my face.
Oh my God, you just don't talk to me.
Dick, get out my face.
Listen, I'm not asking for a juggling thunder like you to come out and be an asshole. For me, I was like, geez, I've got a lot to learn, but I've come so far from it. And she was not on her side. Like, she wasn't accepting of how she looked. Like, she's like, well, that's not who I am.
Really, Brooke? This is the man you're gonna...
Don't bring me into this bullshit.
It doesn't work that way.
Yes, it does work that way.
And then when the thing came up with Adam,
I know you do.
I was like, you could have got with Adam and not me. And she said, well, so? Look what you've done.
You were literally telling your friends that I'm taking a one-way ticket to Zimbabwe, and you're flirting with me literally 2 minutes before I get up, and then she comes and sits down, and then you guys are making out.
She knew that I wasn't in the same place, so she kept going back, and she said, I've embarrassed her family, and that was where my gears started turning. And I was just like, I hadn't been with someone for so long that I thought that the next person I'd fall for, I guess, I will do whatever it takes to stay with them. I just turned a blind side to all the negative, looked for even the tiniest of positives and try to follow through with it. She wasn't very happy with not working. We had spent a lot of time together, but we couldn't find permanent jobs. She was in that limbo mode. She was down, she was a bit depressed about it, and she said, I've been offered this job, and I said, take it, take the job. If this is what's gonna make you figure out what you want, you need to take the job. We saw each other a month after that for a few days. Seemed okay. I mean, in hindsight now, I figure out, what was going on. It got to a point where she had broken up with me on my birthday, and then 3 days later, she begged me to be back with her. She got her mom to phone me, and I said to her again, what is it gonna take for us just to work? What is it gonna take? What do you want from me? And she said, I need you to be here. So I said, okay. The next day I flew to go see her. Some texts had come up on my phone. Her Instagram was still connected to my phone. And I saw text between them and pictures and stuff. And she was saying one thing to me, and then she was saying to the guy, oh my God, he's coming to Fort Lauderdale. I'm done with this. I can't be here, I need to leave. And then sending me a text off the bat saying, give me a month and I'm leaving this boat and we'll be together on a sailboat. I flew to Fort Lauderdale anyway, even though I just found out. I walked up to her boat and I begged her to tell me. And then eventually she told me she'd been with someone. Then she had said that, we weren't together, we weren't going out. And I said, it's a word on a relationship that we were together. And then I'd made her admit to me that I just said, what do you want? And she said, I don't know. And I said, well, you can't have me. And I walked off, and that was the last time I ever spoke to her.
Well, what was the first emotion that went through your head when you saw that text?
It was literally, it was everything that I'd worked for within the year, going back on hundreds of messages. And I felt broken. But I think with me, again, I don't take away what we learned together, but that was just the best lesson for me and the best wake-up call, to take a step back and just try, because I wasn't in a great place. So I took that step back and I just tried to learn about myself again. Yeah, I couldn't have asked for anything better up until now.
Pissed as
So Travis, you say you don't have a drinking problem, but you like to drink, is that right?
Yeah.
But then Sandy wants to talk to you about her history with drinking. What prompted that?
She said that she could smell it on me at work, which is probably from the day before or whatever. But...
It's not okay to get drunk like that every time you drink. Get in there, you bust.
Yeah, I did say, like, I don't drink at work, but she explained to me, like, her past experience with it and everything, because she did have a lot of detrimental parts to her life, which are purely driven by alcoholism.
Sometimes I wish I could just have a glass of wine, but it's like, I can't stop with one. I would have the whole bottle. And then another one, and another one. It got me nowhere. Or sometimes incarcerated. In my career, I've helped many people who have drinking problems. I'm one of those people. And I grew up in a state where at 17 years old, you could drink. And we had drive-through daiquiri bars. You could drive through, order your daiquiri, and drive away. Who does that? Florida, Mississippi. Like, I kept getting arrested, drinking and driving. And then one day I finally woke up and said, I want off the merry-go-round. And then I reached out for help. So when I smelled alcohol in his breath, we started talking, and it was such an organic, beautiful conversation. I just wanted him to know that I'm here, and I could help him get help if that's what he wanted.
You know, it was really nice of it. It was kind of her, and it was like, it's good, you know, but anyone who drinks is going to have negative impacts. Alcohol is a shit drug. It's the worst of the lot of them, but it's legal, so we can do it. If I don't drink drive, I don't crash, I'm like, you know, embarrassing myself, whatever. Like, it hasn't hurt me that much. Just enjoy it. Highly recreational boozer.
People who have drinking problems, it's like this. It's not what you drink or how much you drink. It's what it does to you when you drink. And there's no predictability when that happens. Travis is a kind human being, and he has such a soft side.
Yeah.
But like, you can't be miserable because what you are as a human being is what you put out as a human being.
You can get shit-faced. I don't care. No matter what happens, when you come to work hungover the next day, you are not as efficient as you are, you know, sober, regardless of what anyone thinks. I really feel for Travis. I wish he took 6 months off and then came and done, you know, the season with us. I think he had cabin fever.
To be honest, it's like I was burnt before I even came here.
Because you were nonstop?
And that makes my drinking worse, and it's like you said, it's like this circle. I just drink more than everyone else.
How often do you get to take a break and go home?
Like, on average, like probably every 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I just worked my ass off before the show. I can't remember joy and happiness and love and like being with people that I actually want to be around. So it's like, booze is... Yeah, you're right. I'm not talking about you. I secretly hated you as well. Like drinking, it just like makes you forget about it, yeah, makes you forget about that, oh, tomorrow I've got to go back to this cancer job, which I've been doing for years just for money, like just prostituting my youth.
Tell us about being invaded by a pirate from the yacht next door.
I was up on deck. João was done for the night, I believe. I'm new to the industry. I don't know the protocol, you know, proper protocol of that. They invited the neighbor over.
No randoms on the boat. Oh. Hell yeah!
They started talking about politics, and they started kind of getting heated up again, and you know, you can tell something was about to happen.
Back the up. Yeah. Babe, he was just shaking my hand.
Yeah, I know. Just maybe go out and be like, hey, what's up? Get the off. In a nice way.
I was in my pajamas. Initially, I'm like, do I get changed, or, you know, do I put any clothes on? I get out to the stern, and it seems like everyone's having a good time. So I just said to Colin, you know, let me know if anything, I'm gonna go and change, because I don't want to be in front of the guests in my pajamas, first of all, you know. And I came back up and I thought everything was okay. You know,
everything was fine, and then I think that was at that time they started talking about politics or whatever, and yeah, things escalated a little bit from there.
Hey, listen, I'm the person that's in charge, and I say no, not happening.
May I say? Sorry.
What did I say? He's not going.
You're done.
It was almost a catch-22. What do you do with, I mean, his boat was next door to us, and he's a millionaire. How do you deal with a millionaire, you know? But as soon as he grabbed the mistress's arm, Instinct just kicked in. There's nothing to it. I picked him up and carried him off. After dropping him down, I was trying to be as professional as I could be. And then he was saying to me, do you know what you've just done? Do you know who you are? I'm thinking, you're a douche, but I'm like, sorry, sir, you can't be here. Sorry, please leave. So, you know, you've got to try and...
Yeah.
I could have got sued. You know, anything could happen.
You know, I'm used to America where if I touch somebody, they're gonna sue me, you know? So I'm following, you know, behind with the guy's Sperry's. Like, all right, I'm helping.
So you and Jack, you finally sealed the deal.
You made all my romantic dreams come true.
Whoa.
You're my boyfriend.
It's so weird, isn't it?
So nice. Thank you. You know when you're just like grinding a little bit and one thing leads to another and then suddenly you're like, just slip it in. You just can't help yourself anymore. And you know, you're kind of like, just the head, and then you're like, f it, put the whole f***ing thing in. It was that sort of situation.
When did you just bone?
Mate, in the cabin.
When?
When the time that you weren't in there for the change.
You guys were really quiet.
Oh, very quiet.
Yeah, you were very quiet.
Well, because I was just so conscious of the fact as well that I had this fucking camera like right above my head, and I was like, I don't exactly want to be fucking like cowgirling you when I've got like this camera here. So I was kind of like, if I move my hips very slowly. But they fully saw it. They were like, we saw that hip move, and they said they were like high-fiving in the control room.
I didn't even know.
Being older.
See? He's a gentleman, you know?
Gentleman never
didn't
tells.
even tell his boy. Obviously, because I moved out and we weren't mates anymore.
I didn't want to be blowing my mouth off. I've got to have respect for the girl, do you know what I mean?
Was it everything you hoped it would be?
I mean, there's not a lot of space in them bunk beds, is there? Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't say it was my best performance.
The old hip joints haven't been moved like that for a while.
I know. No, it was good. No complaints, do you know what I mean?
It was really good. He has got a nice penis. Girthy.
Not snaky.
Not snaky. Mummy, you were wrong.
She was wrong.
So Travis, wasn't there one charter guest you were kind of into?
The blondie.
That one you give the note to.
The blondie, yeah, I gave her the note at the end.
Good. Nice to meet you.
Good. I'm glad you guys had fun.
Hey, thanks for coming. I got something for you.
Thank you so much for coming in.
So much. Thank you.
How did the note go down?
Like a lead balloon.
Yeah. It sounds so silly, it really does, but it's a huge no in the industry. I mean, the moment you cross that line, it's almost an immediate firing offence, no matter what.
Did Sandy see the note?
Nah, too slick. Too give it over.
I wish I hadn't seen it, but it was a matter of where do I go from here? I was torn, and I asked Colin. I said, so let's just say, hypothetically speaking, if someone did something wrong that you weren't happy about and you knew the captain wasn't happy about, but you're all in such a good position right now, what would you do? He's like, let it go. I'm like, okay, done.
I said, oh, you got to risk it to get the biscuit. No biscuit for me.
You've got to put a seed down if you want to catch a bird.
Yeah. I think she added me on Insta like 2 weeks or 3 weeks later or something.
What, chat slide into them DMs, why not?
What doing, 3 a.m.?
So you still up?
You are.
Is that how the conversation went?
Nah, just, you know, one of those people who just writes like, when people message me, I judge them a lot on how they write. So she wrote like really just short comments. You know, when you ask someone a question, they just reply to it.
That is usually how conversation goes. You ask them a
yeah,
question,
but you always
they reply.
ask a question back, don't you?
What she was.
Hey, how are you going? You just go, yeah, I'm good. Would you say, how are you doing also?
Oh, she's just giving you like one word,
just
one
going,
lines.
yeah, I'm good. Then I go, well, I'm f***ing peacing out of here.
She's not keen then, isn't she? If she's giving like one line.
Exactly. You win some, you lose some.
What's the kind of DM that you do reply to?
I really like punctuation. I love me some punctuation, like multiple. If you got multiple lines, especially, give me 4 lines with some punctuations.
Bit of poetry.
Send me some poetry.
Bit of a,
That'd be nice.
bit of a lyricist, are you?
Yeah, something funny.
So let's talk about the love tap. We're gonna talk about the love tap.
You know.
Holy crap.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No, hey.
Well, tell me about what it felt like when you
Got slapped in the face.
when you got slapped in the face.
It felt like a slap in the face. No, I mean, it was just startling because my eyes were closed and I was like in this deep,
And you were tired.
I was like in this deep state of like, I'm so f***ed.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a piece of shit because I couldn't do this job that I was like, yeah, I can do it, no problem. I don't know why I got an accent all of a sudden, but you know, I was just like, I can do it, it's okay. And then I failed. So I felt like shit. And then my eyes were closed and I just didn't see it coming. So it was, you could see my face, I'm just like.
It sounds it actually sounds bad and it looks quite bad.
Does it?
But
Yeah.
it looks, it's because.
What can you wear like a...
Because the thing is, like, if you slap me right now with 4 fingers across my face, even as hard as you wanted, it wouldn't really hurt me, but it would sound like a bitch.
Should we do a
Should
little
we do
test?
that? Yeah. So you slap me as hard as you want with 4 fingers like that.
Just the 4?
Yeah, if you go like that, like this.
Okay.
Like this, but as hard as you can. Really
Sure.
hard, yeah. See, it sounds really bad, but it doesn't hurt at all. So that's the whole thing, is like, we always do that to each other back home. And that's like a very common thing, and all my mates do it, men, women,
Oh, it was
the
a
whole
load
thing.
of bollocks. If you hit a woman, you would have been sacked on the spot.
Yeah. The thing is that, yeah, it wasn't malicious, it was just me being pissed and trying to have a laugh. Because we live a hard life, like well, not a super hard life, it's pretty easy, but
Not
like,
tarmac on a road.
it's not that bad, you're not laying bricks, but we work really hard, so when we're out, I just want to try and bring everything up, and from where I'm from, my group of friends and my culture, people who appreciate that, and she just obviously...
Just a bit more sensitive, isn't she? Some people are more sensitive.
Yeah.
I do not condone woman bashing at all, but we're like quite a rough culture, you know, like if a guy came up to me and I was drunk and like hit me in the face, I'd be like, oh, you f***ing nick, and like would like hit him back, you know, and like, sorry. Like that's just like our culture, and I think like you never do it to like bash someone. It's just, you know, we're like just being like a bit rough and tumble and playing around, and I think he like kind of forgot that we weren't down under anymore.
If I did that to Aesha, she would have laughed her ass off and just like had a giggle,
would've
not give
knocked you
up.
out.
She would have hit me back, and it would
Yeah.
have just been like a laugh. And then maybe I would have said, "Give me a choke slam," and she could have choke slammed me onto the dinner table. That would have been sick. That would have been a good outcome. That would be, you know, up there. But Aisha's super fun, and she comes from that same sort of culture as me, and that's just how we show love to each other, you know? Like, of me showing that, it's like showing affection, which sounds really weird to a lot of people, but like Aesha fully understands that, and she would have taken it in that exact manner.
If that's Travis's culture, I'm Australian as well, so I don't really understand. But do you know what? That's fine. It's part of other people's cultures that women are covered from head to toe. It's part of other people's cultures that the man always has to stand before the woman. Like, so what? You don't push your culture on me. I will respect you and I will respect your culture. You respect mine and respect me.
If it's a cultural thing for you, it's just like, I'm not used to that. I'm not used to that. We're kind of roughhousing and whatever. So for me, it was just like a shock, because I was like, you don't touch my face.
To me, your face is so personal, even just to go like that on her face. You've known this woman for 3 weeks. You don't know if she's comfortable. Also, you don't know her past. You don't know what woman has been touched by a man like that. So doing that to her face can bring back shit. Anyway, to me, you're out with your crew, you're at dinner. It is not acceptable to physically touch another crew member in that way, regardless. Like Jack slapped my ass within the first week. And I was like, no, that's not funny. It's not okay. Do not touch me like that. And he tried to laugh it off. And I went, laugh all you like, but just so you know, I'm not laughing. I'm not joking, and I don't want you to touch me like that. He never did again, trust me. But with Travis, you don't boom onto a woman's face when you, it's just, yeah, I think it's just not appropriate.
On the last charter, João gets sick.
So what did they say?
He just said they'll have a virus and a fever. I'll be fine. Work.
No.
Yes.
I'll decide that.
Okay.
Okay.
I need him on deck, but I also can't allow him to infect my crew. So I need him to rest and I need to quarantine him.
Sometimes people think it's a little bit cruel because on yachts, if someone gets sick, we put them in a cabin on their own. They're like, oh, they don't get fresh air and rah, rah, rah. And it's like, well, no, because if the whole boat goes down, we can't charter. And the owner loses hundreds of thousands of euros. So yeah, it is a bit mean to stick them in a cabin on their own and just throw them water and food, but it's still business, you know? I know that we live there and we sleep there and everything, but at the end of the day, a charter boat is a business. And
That's right.
We're not there to spiders, we're there to make money.
Yeah, exactly. And so when he got sick, he was in the water because they sucked the line up.
You reckon you can do it?
There you go.
When you hear of all the things that could happen to your crew, everyone gets cuts on their hands, especially deck crew. Then you're in a scenario where you're in possibly some raw sewage. We were in an anchorage, and I like to say that every boat, even when you treat your sewage, you're supposed to go offshore, but hepatitis A is sewage-related hepatitis. So, and I didn't want him to infect the crew. Hepatitis A is contagious. So I didn't want us to have it.
She was worried about probably more me than anybody else because we're roommates. So, you know, she didn't want me to get sick because then say I catch it, now you have two people down. So I slept in Jack and Aesha's room for a night or two.
Which I wasn't so sure as whether he would be safe that side.
You have like the two horniest people in the world, you know, in one room. I thought I was going to be caught in the mix.
And you weren't getting any sleep, that's for sure.
I was getting any sleep, that's for sure. But yeah, no, it was, you know, I'd never seen João like that.
João got sick as gay. I mean, he got like the flu real bad and he was in bed with like 7 blankets on him and he was like, we had to put, remember we put towels and shit all on him?
Yeah, I remember going in, seeing him.
Yeah, I mean, he got sick and I like just...
It was good for us to like come together as well, like even though we'd all been, like, I'd been at Joao's throat, he'd been at mine, we'd all pissed each other off, like when he was sick, we all sort of, you realise that you are actually like friends as well.
To be fair, we weren't like waking up and going, oh, f you, like that's not how it was at all.
Some days I did feel like that though, I was like, f this But then when he was sick, I did feel like, oh, do you know what, actually we are mates.
Yeah, the dude was proper f***ing bad.
Yeah, he was.
When
he was
anyone's like that, you're gonna have
you've got to look after them, yeah.
What happened with Aesha after?
After the programme?
Yeah.
No, we split up.
Oh no, why?
To be honest, when I got home, I just thought it was a bit of a forced situation and it wasn't reality. Thought about it all and called it a day.
Are you still friends with her?
With Aesha?
Yeah.
No, we haven't spoke, to be honest.
Oh, really?
No. I'd like to be, but obviously it's a hard situation to be in, isn't it?
We left the boat and then he was like, oh, I really want you to come to London with me and meet my family. But then he's like, don't book a ticket till I've gone to this wedding because we've got family staying and it's really busy and I don't know like what date we'll have a room for, but still come. And then the next thing I know, because I noticed that then I didn't realise suddenly girlfriend again was watching my Instagram stories. So I went and looked at her stories and I see that she's on a f***ing train with him to the wedding and at the wedding with him. And I was just like, holy shit, how can you be this f***ing mean to someone? Like, it was just such a like stab in the back. So then I was like trying to call him again because I was like, we're f***ing adults. Like I'm calling him to be like, we're done. And then finally managed to call him and I was like, we're done. Can't believe you treated me like this, blah, blah. And he was just like, well, at first he was like, what do you mean? Treated you like what? And I was like, don't play f***ing games with me. And then I was like, so you've been f***ing her while we're still together? He's like, yeah. And I was just like, f*** you, man. Like, that's so f***ing shit. And then I get her messaging me like, excuse me. She's like, can you please stop talking to my boyfriend? And I like sent her a photo of him asking me to be his girlfriend. I was like, you mean my boyfriend? Good luck with that one. And yeah, I can't even remember what she said. And then I just like blocked her. She's such a f***ing bitch. And even like throughout all of that, I was so nice to him. I was like, I know you're not a bad person. Like you've just made a really shitty decision. Like you've treated your friend really bad and I'm disappointed in you. And then next thing I know, I'm like blocked off everything and he's like never spoken to me again. So yeah.
The sad thing was though, is she had actually said to him and kept casual because she's like, it's a boat, you know, we've met on a boat, you live in England, I live in New Zealand. And he was the one that pushed it. And then the whole time he'd been seeing this other girl in England, so.
I don't like Jack.
No, me neither.
Still to this day, I'm like, he's not a bad person. He's just a major coward, and he's just immature. He's just like a little kid. He doesn't deal with things like adults should deal with things. Like, he runs away from things. And I think at the time he was just like, I think he just gets like too caught up in it and doesn't think about the future, and then he probably went home and was like, oh, that's right, like I've got this other girl here, like what have I done kind of thing. And instead of just saying to me like,
which you would have been
which I was like wanting
fine,
anyway,
right?
like
Yeah,
if
you
he
would've been
said like,
totally
oh, let's not do anything. But instead of that, he was just like, I'm just gonna run away from it and bury my head and pretend it hasn't happened.
I just always think honesty is like the best policy. Even if you did fancy her, even if you said, look, we can have a casual thing, but just so you know, it probably won't go anywhere because I'm seeing someone at home. But she said that I can do what I want when I'm away or whatever. I think that as adults, you need to, you know, you don't need to be playing with people's emotions like that.
What would you say to him if you saw him today?
I think I'd just say to him that I know that he's not, I know that in his heart he isn't a bad person, but he just made some really shitty decisions, and that he really disappointed me as a friend because I expected more from him. And I just think the way that he treated me was really not cool, and that I deserve an apology, like really deserve an apology. And yeah, I think I'm just disappointed in him.
Hey, subscribe if you liked the video, and if you want more, click here.